unfortunate. I'm surprised they could even go social democratic. Oh yeah, I have factories. Let's import stuff again. Never mind, we don't. I lied. Haha, I tricked you all. I thought we had factories. We don't. Not even a little bit. So you have 10 more days for you to be finished. I don't think it makes... Like, does it make any sense? Does this do anything for us? We can send... Yeah, like, we can send volunteers. But it makes no sense for us. Help the refugees, guns for democracy, send the experts. They've run a respectful campaign. Unfortunate. But it is what it is. Riots in Nuremberg. The pride of the German Reich was damaged today as an outbreak of dissidents occurred within the various celebrations of achievements. The annual Nuremberg rally supporting the NSDAP were met with protests from a gathering group of students advocating for free speech and for reform within the Reich. However, whilst leading the protests of student gatherers, one of the students, Rudy Deuce, was shot by Joseph Bachmann, who appeared to have no government ties on account to his ideological leadership. Angered by Deuce's death, the students broke through several barricades fighting against guards, while officials replied through force. As for several waves of gunfire, the riot was dispersed, and the city of Nuremberg was placed under martial law by authorities. The Reich's banner, the German Socialist Group, claimed support for the protests, and the Duschke's shooting was orchestrated by the Reich itself. So you guys are having some problems here. Can I see what you're doing yet? No, not quite. We only have 60% intel, which is really not a lot. Okay, they are our future. After that, we'll go for funding the colleges, or we can go for you. That's factory output, which really doesn't matter so much, and we don't want to be taking any more penalties than I have to. No, you don't want to switch. You are... What's the hustler upgrade into? The hustler upgrade into the aardvark. Okay. So we'll switch you over to the aardvark. Right? B58 Hustler goes into the FD11 aardvark. Yeah, no. Yeah. This is all fine. Just make those better, please. Research slots available too as well. Do we have any more air doctrines? I don't think so, right? I mean, we have stuff for helicopters, but the helicopters don't matter so much. Wait, we can get you as well. You are you aren't exclusive? Okay. Yeah, no, we can get both. Thumbs up. And after that, any more light aircraft? We're getting you guys going. Synthetic oil, fuel gain from refiners. We don't really have any refineries, so I don't really think it's really that important. We just want to go with you. 185 days for more output. The polls are updated. I mean... The Republicans are definitely going to be facing problems. Not the the Republican Democrats are definitely going to be facing some problems. They're going to lose a lot of seats. Basically, no matter what. And we still can't get any of you, unfortunately, even though it would be really nice. So you're going to get 25 political power. After that... Establish a teacher's corps? Voter in the Steel Belt and the North will approve. Voters in the South... I mean, the South already hates us. So we'll probably go for establish a teacher's corps. Yeah, Balthazar Rock has unsurprisingly won. But I don't think it's going to make a huge difference here, at least for the time being. So will these guys actually... Because the Balthazars are actually also in the United Aerospace. Will they actually form into one country? I mean, you got a huge sway of ideology. You got the authoritarian democrats, then you've got this despot, then you got the fascist, and you got the communist. One big happy family in, I'm sure, a united Arab Republic, which will have absolutely no tensions whatsoever. For right now, what are we making it outdated? You make you into the better aircraft. I guess we'll go for better range as well. I mean, 5% increase isn't ton. It's not a ton, but it's not nothing. We'll take it. You have 7 more days so your campaign is done. We'll probably end the stream for today once the Senate election is finished. It's already 1 o'clock in the morning where I am now. So I think, yeah, probably when November arrives. Only 2 more months. What's happening over here? Excuse me? Ombren frees Europa. Willy Brandt has arrived. His flag is just a swastika crossed out. Unity and diversity, partisan, freedom or death. Well, we'll see how that goes for you. I'm going to assume probably bad. Oh, you're actually getting more territory as well. Oh, you're slowly growing. How many troops do you guys have? 13 to 17? Definitely not enough to beat the Germans, but we'll see. Will anywhere in Germany kind of do this as well? Yes, let's establish a teacher's corps. So what's your plan? I wonder if you will actually invade here when you guys go to... I'm assuming you're going to go to war. Right? Like, that makes sense. I don't see any more areas that are considered demilitarized zones, so I'm assuming that this is the biggest you're going to get. We did do a decent campaign, which is nice. Oh, you guys are in it as well. Okay, so you're getting Yakovlev's request. Okay, well, let's see what you have to say. I must say, Ambassador, this wonton soup, is that the name? It truly is a jewel in the rough. Yakovlev could barely keep his mouth empty enough to speak, and the ambassador chuckled in what was only half embarrassment. The diner was half empty anyway, and it was essentially a bribe that the owner had been convinced to keep the store open till now. Nothing but the slow whirl of the fan to interrupt our conversation. It's an honor on behalf of the staff of the restaurant to receive you, Ambassador. The owner, 20-odd years of growth stacked in a stocky pile of flesh, nodded beside him with what can only be described as a manure-eating grin. Welcome me to come back. You should desire it. The man had some nerve calling this half-baked piece of restaurant and charging like one too, but he certainly knew how to exploit a moment. The ambassador waved him off. Mr. Yakovlev, it's a pleasure to see you immersed in our culture, but I'm sure you have bigger things that you want to discuss. For a long while, we met in silence. Only the slurping of noodles and soup echoed in the night, and the sound of the fan blades cutting through the air. Yakovlev finished the dregs bowl. A self-satisfying smile painted his thin features and spoke. Right. To business. You and I both know, of course, that the Union stands unsteady. We do not have the privilege of a developed economy and certainly do not have the grains of field or livestock capital to make wonton as massive as the one I just ate. To say nothing of our military. It has been a while since the Soviet engineering was keeping pace with Germania. He nodded to the skyline before them, a dirty neon scribble in the windows. I know, and my government is certain, that we will catch up. We must. There is much work to be done. Can I have your assurance that the largest anti-fascist nation in the world will aid its sibling until the work ends? Enact diplomacy docking rights. Yeah, sure, why not? If you can help us, I'll take it. Oh shit, the Free Army can go to war with the gang and talk to reunify the East and force Germans to emancipate. Well, we'll see what'll happen here. Yeah, it looks like you guys are taking more territory as well. Slave revolt in the Reich. There are many things in the Reich that is infamous for internationally, none more egregious as its heavy use of slave labor in its project, showing resentment across Europe. However, with fewer Spears methods of study reform, it seems that unrest among slave class has been quelled. This has been spectacularly proven false. Across the Reich's eastern holdings, slaves have taken up arms against the German masters, carving a gash across the continent, while Speer's government scrambles to put together a response. Field Marshal Skorner has seized control of the Reich's Russian territory, promising a crushing response to the revolt that Germany is unable to control the situation. Though an uneasy peace still holds between all three parties, the world watches with bated breath if Germany will finally drop the shackles of slave labor altogether. The slave revolt. One people we will be, a band of brothers, no danger, no distress shall surrender us. We will be free men as our fathers were, and sooner welcome death than live as slaves. Well, it's the flag, but like the flag's crossed out, right? Like it's like no to this. The Deutsche Freikorps declared a war on Der Golgast. So you guys are now at war with each other. Because you were also Social Democratic. Okay, sure. Because you guys are ultra-nationalist. So I'm guessing you've kind of broken off from Germany. Because I'm assuming, really likes slave labor. Decisions available. Let's go for another one on the East Coast. I mean, our debts are growing, unfortunately. Let's actually decrease military spending for a bit. Decrease civilian spending as well. That's fine. You really have just created like a massive front line here, haven't you? Polls have been updated. So, like, what? I know I was going to say I was going to end when the election came through, but now I'm really curious about what's going to be happening with the slave revolt. So we might actually continue for another 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how things go. Which means more content for you, the viewer at home. We'll go for maintenance company 4. Seems okay. I do want to see how this resolves. If you go to war, I mean, you only have still only 13, 18 divisions. Really, it's not a lot. I'm assuming if they go to war, we'll probably have some way to intervene. Because, I mean, Romania and Hungary are still here as well. Like, Norway's in the Unity Pact. There's still a lot of stuff they can do. Let's fund the colleges. What's happening? Like, I'm guessing China's kind of stabilized a little bit. Yeah, how long is the oil crisis going to last out for? Our only hope for an economic survival is to ride out the storm and pray for a miracle. Well, we'll pray as much as we possibly can. The Class 1 Senate elections. After months of campaigning, who has won? Almost everybody defended their seat, huh? The Democrats lost 3 seats, the Republicans gained 1, and the Center gained 2. So what's that show? People really like the Great Society. I'm surprised that this many people defended their seats, to be quite honest. Wait, Democratic lost 3. Why is it the far right lost none? Because the far right lost their seats to the Democratic Party. Oh, because they lost here and then they gained 1 in Tennessee. Okay. Which I think actually makes our position stronger. Because now there's more Republicans and there's more center NPP. He doesn't know what China can do? You're right, I don't know what China can do. So there might still be a massive collapse there. But so the Senate campaign actually is not so bad for us. I do think it actually helped. Now there's less Democrats that we have to worry about. Cause they don't like us. This is a virgin disaster. I mean, technically our coalition did lose 2 seats total, but it's fine. I still think it's good for us in the long run here. Clear the trenches. Oh, so they lose all their focuses go away, so they can actually deal with this. Restoring Trush. So it looks like you're going to try to crush them, it looks like. Do you have anything else in here for the slaves, or is it just it's just this tiny little tree for you? The global economy is melting down. Social adaptation will decrease by 20. Get more stability. So I wonder what you guys do. I think Spear's going to try to crush the slaves. Got no national focus. Let's go for funding our schools. Research slot. We'll go for air detection. Give them help. Is there anything I can do to help? I don't think there's anything I can do to help out these guys. Polls that were updated. Yeah, so I think things are going good. They're going well for us. Like, I will help when I can help. Because, right, like, I can't do anything. As far as I can tell. Public college scholarships. The second plank of the HEA is an expansion of the federally provided scholarships to distinguished students applying for college admissions. This part of the bill will be far less controversial and will likely engender more broad support across party lines, barring disagreement over the minute about who is chosen to receive the scholarships, how they administrate, and how much the scholarship will be worth. Primary concern with this bill is the same as always: financial burdens on the federal government grow each year, and budgetary concerns must be considered when bringing all proposals to the table. Aside from the extremists basing their arguments on racial logic, most opposition to the HEA is organized around the rhetoric of arguing for financial considerations. The education debates being as fierce as they are, it could ultimately be best to avoid such commitment. No burden is too great. We must assure the survival and success of liberty. Just where so much money is getting thrown at all this stuff, but that's okay. I'll throw the government into as much debt as possible, because that's always fun. After you are done, we'll then go for higher education. We have the votes in Congress, so that should be completely okay. After this, we have to go down this tree. But we're going to reach a point where we can't do anything because we don't have any political power. And I don't think none of this means anything, right? Like the war in the Middle East is over. So I don't think we need to worry at all. You guys are still negotiating, I'm assuming. I don't think you're going to be getting any larger, as far as I can tell. How many troops do you guys have? 63 to 90. So you would definitely win any war against the West Russians. Unless they were to somehow unify all these guys. Which, you guys have strong relations. So I don't know if you can kind of just unify on your own. And who knows what Burgundy's doing? Burgundy could be... Who knows what's happening in that little hellhole. At one point, we're probably just going to get like a pop-up saying, hey, Burgundy's nuked the entire planet. So we'll see see if that happens. We got 2 more days until our schools have been funded. And then the Higher Education Act. Funding for public schools. A massive first draft of the so-called Higher Education Act was thrown together about on the president's desk. Johnson glasses hung low on his nose, his hands on his forehead, the other gripping page 96 of the document. He had been reading and editing and rereading for hours now. He wasn't quite sure how long this draft... He wasn't sure how long. This draft was what he had asked for, right? It was going to be a damn nightmare to push through Congress. After rigmarole, the conservatives threw the president through over the writing passed with the ESEA. Indeed, very likely that the HEA will receive sharp criticism from budget hawks in the Congress. Furthermore, directly aiding many colleges would publicly be viewed as favoritism. The party relations, such as our commitment to funding plank, could very well cause irreparable damage if such damages were significant enough. And the president's own chance of re-election could be jeopardized. I don't need to be re-elected. I've already won my 2nd term. However, Johnson sought his allies and supporters insist that he commit to university aid program on principle, arguing the electoral drawback from doing so would be minimal at worst and non-existent at best. Johnson drew his red pen and marked out on a line of paper, "No, this won't do." He muttered to himself, scribbling the correction margin. Then again, not everyone could be pleased. An effort is trying to please everyone is an effort wasted. Hey, guess what? We'll push that through as well. It's recommended that you switch to 2-3 times speed. We'll go 5 times. Who cares? I just pause whenever you need to read anything. It's been working out pretty well for us. So, yes, we got joint air operations. After that, let's go 1972. I mean, most of the texts really don't matter. They matter if you're going to go to war. And are we going to be going to war? I don't know. I think at some point all of this will probably unify, though. We'll have to see. Oh, wait, which one did you go? I didn't see which one you went for. I don't know if you went for local independence or central apparatus. That'll be done in 2 more days. You're going to open reports. You're almost done all your plans. Is a pop-up that you get when the nuke's launched? Okay, that's good to know. Live in a great society, bottom text. You're ready in 10 days. Like, we're spending a lot of money on this. That's fine. Just decrease. We can't decrease this right now. Liquid reserves. Use 10% less. Yeah, that's. Well, right now, civilian spending is 122 billion. Military spending is 27. Other expenditures at 15. They're spending 189 billion dollars a year. We'll lower military spending again. We could lower civilian spending. How much does the lower butt by? Political power gain goes down because, of course, it does. Temporary decrease by 15%. Other income. I mean, it's still fine.